North Carolina gave up 70 points and over 600 yards to a group of five school last week. Can they recover from that here? We're going to find out in a second. But first, I want to tell you about a great promotion we have this week only at WagerTalk. We're giving away 30 days free. Our 90-day all-access package comes with an additional 30 days, which means for the normal price of 90, you're getting 120 days. All access comes out to less than $7 a day. For me, it'll cover the beginning of college basketball. I've been one of the top producers in college basketball on the site the last 2 years, as well as all the college football, NFL, and then the tail end of baseball season, where I currently have a 7-3 run going into Tuesday night and a $5 play up for tonight as part of Wager Talk's $5 Tuesday promo, which you can see site-wide throughout the day. College football videos did great last week. I did 2 of them. Florida State, Miami of Ohio, both of them get there with covers. So these have been going well, and I've just got one for this week. So let's try to find a winner here. North Carolina Duke, big rivalry on the hardwood, not as big on the football field, but still a big game nonetheless. Still an ACC game in a conference that really seems like it's wide open right now. So even with the loss last week for North Carolina, that wasn't a conference game. Duke comes in 4-0, still everything to play for here. As far as North Carolina is concerned, let's just call it what it is. They were just not ready to play last week against James Madison. I'll use Mac Brown's own words right here. Embarrassing day, shocking day. I don't know if it was that shocking. James Madison's a good team. And to be honest, Mac Brown hasn't been a good coach, a great football coach in a while. He's more of an ambassador for the program. Definitely brings in, he attracts good players to come play there, I would say, relative to, what North Carolina was prior to him getting there. But I would hardly call this like a well-coached team, in relation to other teams that are in their sort of echelon of where they fall in college football. So, just weren't ready to play. Looked past JMU maybe a little bit, thought they could just come out and run them off their own field. And that wasn't the case. But I will say this, it's absolutely surprising that they gave up 70 points as an 11-point favorite. That's surprising, but out of the realm of possibility, no. And then, of course, you add in 70 points and 611 yards with 5 turnovers. Just not ready to play a football game last week for North Carolina. But if this was like week 1, or we hadn't seen anything to this point from North Carolina, it would be far more concerning to me. But North Carolina came in 3-0. We had already seen them go on the road back on opening night and gut out a 19-17 win over Minnesota in a game where they lost their starting quarterback. They handled Charlotte. They handled NC Central. So, it's not like it's just not a performance last week that I'm willing to like put all the eggs in that basket and say that's what North Carolina is. I think they just weren't ready to play. And what I will say, without a doubt, matter-of-factly, is if last week doesn't happen, North Carolina is definitely a favorite in this game. So if we're just looking from a line value perspective, now that we can get North Carolina as a dog, that's very good value, based on statistics that are very much skewed by last week's performance. Duke, I guess you could say they've been impressive. A 4-0 start is always impressive, pretty much no matter what the context is. But they haven't really played anyone yet. They trailed in the fourth quarter as a 17-point home favorite to UConn. Needed a stop late to secure I think it was a 6-point win, 5-point win in that game, like 26-20, something like that. So, I guess their best win is Northwestern, which I suppose is impressive to an extent. It's a comparable opponent from another Power 5 conference. But again, it's not like Duke has done anything to, make me think that they're like head and shoulders better than I thought they were coming into the season. And I felt like they were sort of all around not as good as they were last year. So I guess I have to take that 4-0 start with a little bit of a grain of salt, considering Elon, UConn, Northwestern being, your best win, Middle Tennessee State, not exactly, the toughest run of, like, I would still put going on the road at Minnesota for North Carolina as a far more impressive, if you were to look at all the games that both of these teams has played, that's still kind of the most impressive win to me. One thing that's getting lost, I think, in the fact that North Carolina just got destroyed last week, is the fact that they still scored 50 points. They still actually ended up outgaining James Madison by 5 yards, 616 yards of total offense for UNC. And again, I mean, if they don't turn it over 5 times, they may be finding a way to sneak out with that win. Another thing that, from a yardage standpoint, that they forced 12 penalties for 105 yards for JMU. It's not like James Madison could really guard them either. It was just not much defense either way. And the defense playing really poorly for North Carolina, putting their team just kept putting themselves in bad spots. And again, James Madison, still a capable opponent, going to take advantage. They did, and they left with the win. So when I look at this game, I still need to see more from Duke. This is a team that I felt, regressed on both sides of the ball coming into this season. I think Malik Murphy has been solid at quarterback, so he's definitely filled the void from Leonard leaving there. But I can't make Duke a favorite here, just based on what happened last week. Again, this is still a team that trailed to UConn in the fourth quarter on their home field. I like North Carolina to at least be more focused. I still think if you go back, like, this is still a team that, again, played a pretty good defensive game against Minnesota, had no problem with their other two opponents. However, they're, being their inferior opponents, but still had no problem there. So I'm going to give North Carolina a pass on that disaster last week. This is an ACC game. It will be their first ACC game. I think that wakes North Carolina up. And if that's the case, they just can't be an underdog to this Duke team. So I really do like the Tar Heels here, plus 2.5. And that's going to be your free college football play of the week. I will have a couple NFL videos out as well. So stay tuned for those and head on over to WagerTalk. Check out that great 90-day special, 120-day special for the price of our normal 90-day package. Like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you free college football and NFL videos. And jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Does North Carolina bounce back this week, or is it going to be more of the same for them on the road in Durham? Give me a follow at Adam Trigger WT on all platforms, and we'll see you guys next week with more college football best bets.